there! Welcome to Lunchtime Live with the Wild Center. My name is Shannon. I'm one of our educators here at the center, and I am currently coming to you all from one of our behind the scenes areas. So I am in a room that we call the snake room, except it is really a more encompassing reptile and amphibian room. So within this room behind the scenes, we house many of our snakes, some turtles, some frogs, salamanders, so all kinds of reptiles and amphibians. This is the herp room, I guess you can say. And today's feature is Turbo. Now Turbo here is one of my favorite turtles, and that is because he is a musk turtle. And musk turtles are really, really cool little guys. And you can see him stretching out his neck a little bit right now. But these guys are a semi-aquatic species of turtles. They spend a lot of their time in shallow water bodies. So they really like streams and creeks and marshes and swamps. Except they don't swim as often as other turtles do. They actually prefer to walk along the bottom of the shallow water body in which they live. And they are a relatively small species of turtle. So Turbo here, his carapace, which is the name of his back shell, it is probably about 2 inches right now. And these turtles can grow anywhere from 3 to 5 inches when they are fully mature. Now Turbo here, he's only about 3 years old, I believe. So he's not fully mature yet. So he will continue to grow and get a little bit bigger. But these are a small turtle. You can see just how small he is in my hands. He is very, very tiny. And they are primarily nocturnal in the evening hours. So around evening is when they're most actively foraging for food. So these guys, as with most turtles, are omnivorous, which means that they eat a varied diet. So musk turtles will eat things like insects and tadpoles and sometimes crayfish. They'll go after some algae. They'll eat dead fish carrion occasionally and do a little bit of scavenging. So they eat a varied diet, really whatever they can find. They're not super picky eaters. And if anybody has any questions about Turbo while I am talking about him, feel free to ask. He is a super cute little guy. Musk turtles are easily identified based on a couple key features. So Turbo wants to go back in his enclosure for a little bit, which is fine. I'm gonna put him back in the water. He was getting a little stressed out in my hands, which is perfectly okay. I'll let him swim for a couple minutes and then I'll take him back out and show you some of his features. But one thing that you may have noticed is that he has a dome-shaped shell. So musk turtles are well known for having that dome-shaped carapace. And then their plastron, which is their belly shell, is actually reduced. So it's much smaller than some other species of turtles. So that actually allows musk turtles to climb really well. So they can actually climb up onto some trees and logs right next to their aquatic habitat. And of course they get the name the musk turtle because they do have the ability to musk, which is one of their main forms of defense. So biting and scratching are also forms of defense if they are feeling threatened. And then last resort, they are going to release that musk. And it is really stinky. So these guys have also been nicknamed the stink pot turtle because that musky odor that they release smells pretty foul. So you definitely do not want to get musked by a musk turtle. But these guys can be found here in New York State. Again, they like shallow, kind of muddy water bodies. Hard to spot due to their nocturnal nature, but really cool little turtles. Other key features, they do have stripes kind of on their eyes. So that's another easily recognized feature, and then their noses are pointed, and that's because again they like to walk around on shallow water bodies. They have long necks and a long kind of pointed nose, so they can just stick their neck and their nose above the surface of the water whenever they need to take a breath. So these guys typically will mate and breed 2 times a year, once in the spring and once in the fall, and that is likely because their clutch size is very small. So some other more common species of turtles here in New York State may lay dozens of eggs, whereas musk turtles are only laying 1 to 9 eggs per clutch. So they will do that in nice sandy soils on land. They'll come up onto land, dig a nice hole, and deposit those eggs. And then those eggs will take between 60 and 90 days to hatch. So the ones that were laid this spring should be hatching in the next couple of weeks. Of course, because musk turtles are so small, when they come out of their egg, they're only about, less than an inch. They're really, really tiny, about the size of a quarter. Just little tiny turtles. And let's see if Turbo wants to come out in front of the camera one more time. I, of course, am going to respect his wishes. But let's see if he's feeling like he wants to come say hi. There we go. All right, so we'll take one more look at some of those features I mentioned earlier. So he has that nice long neck, those stripes next to his eyes. He does have what are known as barbels, kind of like little whiskers underneath his chin. That helps him feel around his environment, mainly because these guys are nocturnal. And then he's got nice little long claws that he uses for digging in the mud as well. Nice dome-shaped carapace. And then I'll see if he lets me show you his plastron. His plastron is pretty small. So it doesn't extend the whole length of his body like other turtles do. So he has kind of nice little pudgy legs that you can see right there as well. But I wanted to thank you all for joining me in meeting Turbo the musk turtle. Because Turbo's so small, he doesn't get featured a lot in our public programs here at the Wild Center. He'd be really hard for the public to see. So I'm glad I'm able to bring him to you digitally, because musk turtles are super cool turtles that you can find here in New York State. So thank you for joining me for Lunchtime Live today. Thank you for joining our star of the show, Turbo. I'm gonna put him back in his tank so he can swim around and enjoy his afternoon. All right, so thanks for joining me with Lunchtime Live. Have a great day, everybody.